How you doing, guys? Big Met Down School here again today, back once again with another Conquest video for you. Today though is slightly different. I'm going to be taking a look at some miniatures. Some painted miniatures. Some of my painted miniatures. It's time for a showcase. So, these painted miniatures you can see here, these are, you may have guessed, the first miniatures we got with Conquest. These are the 3 Inceptor models that we got in issue 1. And I've not painted them up as Ultramarines, as the Conquest guides suggest you do. I painted mine up as Imperial Fists. And these are the first models I painted. I painted them a long time ago, before certain paints were released. I've got the Sergeant in hand, and I'm going to try and run you through memory and basically just guessing, run you through what paints I used on these miniatures. It's a really quick paint job. It's quite messy, but if you're about 2-3 feet away, a completed army in this sort of paint job looks really nice for me. So yeah, it was more about getting miniatures painted than making the paintwork look amazing. That's what my approach is going to be towards painting the Conquest miniatures. So yeah, without further ado, I better start running you through the colours. So the main colour is Avalanche Sunset Spray. I put that on top from a Zenithal highlight. I did a video when I started the Conquest subscription. I did a video showing you how to do really easy, really simple yellow, where I got a red undercoat. In this case it was a Halford's red undercoat, and I sprayed it all over. And then from a Zenithal highlight, which is like a position shooting down at the miniature from above, I sprayed Avalanche Sunset, Games Workshop's Avalanche Sunset spray from above. And then it gives you a really nice solid yellow with sort of a complementary colour in the recesses. So there's a colour that works well as like a shadow for yellow. It's red. It's quite a, it's a slightly leaning towards an orange red as well, which is really nice. So when you get to see the recesses, you see it's a little bit darker, and it's not quite yellow, but it works really well just from, like I said, 2-3 feet away, which typically you'll be when they're on a gaming board and you're stood playing. So yeah, that's the way I painted the yellow. I've also used a Seraphim Sepia wash all over the yellow on the miniature, and this is for a reason that I wanted to try and match them up with the Nazdreg yellow contrast paint, which I painted the rest of the miniatures in. I didn't want to go back and start again with these 3 miniatures, so I thought I'd just try and match them to the miniatures using other paints in order to tie them all together. And I'll show you in the video where I show you the Reavers, I'll show you how close I managed to get it. It's quite close, I'm satisfied with it myself. So yeah, onto the other colours. We've got red helmet for the Sergeant, and that is a Mephiston red. Any purity seals that are on the miniatures, I actually used corn red, the wax bit of the purity seal. I used corn red instead of Mephiston red, just to differentiate it a little bit. It looks like a rich red, the corn red. The black on the miniature is, there's 2 different blacks on the miniature, if I'm honest. There's Vallejo Model Air black, which is like the shoulder trim and stuff, and then the gun I think is Abaddon black, if I remember rightly. The gun itself, the metalwork on it, I used bolt gun metal, and then a null oil wash, which I'm not satisfied with the result here because I've done it so quick, and I think I've slapped it on there a bit too heavy. You can see it's fogged, it's clouded, so it doesn't quite look right. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. The parchment on the purity seals, I've painted them in Ushabti Bone, I think, and then gone over them again with a sepia wash, Seraphim Sepia wash. The flesh on the Sergeant, I've painted with Rakarth flesh. I kind of wanted to do a pale looking Sergeant for some reason, because I wanted what its contrast with his black hair. The black hair is a little bit shiny, if anything, on this miniature, so I might go back at some stage and change the colour of his hair or something like that, or just try and bring that shine off of the hair. So it's a little bit too shiny, but yeah, it's Rakarth flesh. And then I wanted to try something different on the flesh tone, so I put a bit of Druchii Violet into the wash. I think it was Raycon flesh shade at first, and then certain areas I put a bit of Druchii Violet just to see what it looked like. I wanted to make him look less human, basically, like he has been transformed into this superhuman soldier. I like the idea of it being them being not quite human, them being above human, and changing them in some way, you know, with more purple in the skin or something like that, just to give them a sort of a non-human look. I like the idea of that myself. What other colours have we got on here? We've got a bit of Liberator Gold from Games Workshop for the key there on the Sergeant, a few other areas as well. And that's about it as far as I can see on the miniature. Oh, the basing I used, there's one of the issues from somewhere from issue 40 to issue 50, I think it's that. They've got 3 different basing suggestions for you, where you use Astrogranite as the basing material, and then in this case I think it was a wash of Nuln Oil and or wash of Agrax Earthshade possibly, and then I highlight using a dry brush technique of Ceramite White, just to pick out those edges. It gives you a nice clean urban sort of look, urban rubble look. And then I rimmed the base with Abaddon Black again. And that's it for these 3 miniatures. So let me know what you think in the comments below. You can trash my paint job if you want. All comments are welcome. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.